Are you someone that wants to join the Scourge? Be a secret agent, collect crystals made out of pure urine? Then my friends, you better not skip this questline in Wrath of the Lich King, because if you do, you are definitely going to regret it. My name is Nixxiom, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite questlines in all of World of Warcraft, one that I think you too will enjoy as we go on the adventure together. A big warning though, this video does contain spoilers for the quest, but considering that Wrath of the Lich King is such an old expansion, you're probably already aware of the story. So let's head on over to Zuldrak. Now to begin, this questline in particular is technically a part of a greater story in the game, so let's get a few things out of the way first. Before going to Zuldrak, you're going to end up most likely questing through World of Warcraft's most beautiful zone, Grizzly Hills. And it's here that you'll meet Drakuru, a troll in a cage with big plans that you get to be a part of. He's kind, he's cool, you agree to help him out around the zone to restore glory to the trolls, and you go around doing quests to aid him in his plans until you ultimately realize that you've been helping the bad guy the entire time. Drakuru ends up being a servant of the Lich King, he heads off to continue his work for the Scourge, and you're left stunned at your own sins and lack of wits. And then later on you arrive in Zuldrak, where this story picks up. And this is where our questline begins. Now to be fair, you don't even have to have done the Drakuru questline in Grizzly Hills to begin this story that I'm about to tell you, which I just think adds to the genius of Blizzard's storytelling in this expansion. But I digress, my friends, let us begin this adventure that continues the tale of Drakuru. It all begins by looting a necklace off of an undead, which when worn transforms a person into a scourge monstrosity. After finding the necklace, you quickly learn that you, the player, are being hunted by the Scourge's leadership, and this necklace was a trap to get you to wear it, thus transforming you into a loyal member of the Lich King's army. However, rather than submitting to the will of the Lich King, it is decided that you instead are going to use this necklace, after a bit of modification that involves abomination guts, you're going to use it to infiltrate the Scourge ranks as a secret agent ghoul. After a bit of tampering, you test out this new necklace in disguise by doing grunt work for the Scourge, feeding the ghouls, all before cooling off with a fresh drink purchased from a silly abomination. But then, it gets serious. The disguise clearly works, and so the Death Knights of the Ebon Watch send you to infiltrate Voltaris, a giant Scourge Necropolis floating above Zuldrak that is under the command of, you guessed it, Drakuru. And he's got some big secrets that you gotta find out. So the plan is simple really. Infiltrate the Scourge, serve their leader Drakuru, and then sabotage things as you go along in your flimsy ghoul outfit that, be warned, sometimes will break and you'll need to hide. Occasionally too, you will need to meet with your friendly Death Knight friend from the Ebon Watch to give you more quests. He'll be your Q and you will be his James Bond, if that makes sense. And you know what? It's a great bit of fun being transformed into a ghoul and then getting to be friends with the Scourge in the zone. Aside from the shades, of course, they can see through your disguise. Be warned. But anyway, Drakuru becomes a quest giver for you up in the Necropolis, and he gives you tasks as a new member of the Scourge, like using a rod to demonstrate your leadership abilities by dominating the Geist below to collect magic urine crystals around the base of the Necropolis. Now all the while, you will be sabotaging plague cauldrons below, which once the news reaches Drakuru about them, he is not too happy about it. In anger, he sends you to kill one of his overseers below, Darmok, the one who is meant to protect these cauldrons that you have sabotaged. But he tells you, don't kill the overseer yourself. Instead, dominate a nearby undead troll to do it for you. And this is where it gets interesting. You see, the troll will become your pet, and you can use him to fight against Darmok, but don't think you can drop your disguise to fight alongside your pet power troll. Because if you do, you will quickly learn, just like I did, that the troll's domination will fail along with your disguise, and Darmok is gonna kill you in a few hits. Instead, you need to let the troll do all the work, or most of the work, while you're nearby. But even with the troll's help and you clicking his abilities to try to do as much damage as possible, be prepared because Darmok is no joke. He will probably, at least in my case, he will kill your troll, and you will need to finish him off fast before he kills you. It's a close fight, it'll get your blood pumping, and hey, while you're doing it, just don't forget to steal some crystals for the Death Knights at Ebon Watch because they need to figure out what Drakuru needs all this frozen piss for. Drakuru is most pleased once you return to him, having killed his insubordinate overseer. And now, seeing as you're ready to command even more powerful undead, Drakuru tells you to take command of some abominations nearby and prepare for an explosive time. You see, the trolls of Zuldrak, you were told, they have broken through the northern defenses of the Scourge, and it's up to you and your abominations under your command to round them all up and kill them all. Using your abomination, you attack every troll in sight, leading them into a big-ass pile, and bam! You make your minion explode, killing the trolls and adding to the Scourge's glory. And during this bloodbath, you are also capturing troll chieftains to be taken back to the Necropolis for a dark experiment that you still don't know anything about. At least, not yet. The big secret, guys. But upon finishing, Drakuru, now seeing you proven as a capable member of the Scourge, a commander, he allows you to see into his ultimate secret, the weapon that will be used against Zuldrak to completely overrun it with Scourge. You are granted permission to go to the higher levels of the Necropolis, and there, in a hidden laboratory, you learn that the troll chieftains that were captured earlier are being transformed into horrible Scourge monstrosities of great power, capable of wreaking havoc upon the lands below. And now, after seeing what is to come, the true battle for the future of Zuldrak can begin. You came to the Necropolis to discover Drakuru's big secret of how he was going to take over these lands, and now you know it. His secret now in the open, you will join Drakuru atop the Necropolis in his moment of greatest victory, but instead of relishing in the success of the Scourge, instead, you will use the scepter of command that you have been given by him to lead his armies with, and instead, you will use it to control one of his mutant blood trolls, turning them against their master to aid you in combat against the Scourge General. What ensues is a battle that can lead to your death if you're not careful. You gotta dodge these toxic puddles on the ground that do a lot of damage, be careful. You gotta dominate new blood trolls. If your current one dies, you have to make sure they're continuously using their abilities, but in the end, when Drakuru is just about to die, he puts an end to the game. And instead of giving some big monologue to you or something, whatever, he summons the Lich King. And he tells him that you have double-crossed the Scourge, you have betrayed him, you have ruined all of his efforts in Zuldrak, and you should die. But the Lich King, angered by Drakuru's inability to deal with us, the players himself, he slaughters Drakuru instead, ending his reign and freeing Zuldrak from the fear of his army. And as for you, the Lich King, amused by your undercover secret agent Scourge antics, he decides to spare your miserable life, allowing you to leave untouched by the wrath of the Lich King. And that's it, everybody, the conclusion of one of the introduction questlines to Zuldrak in Wrath of the Lich King. And it's one of my favorite and many people's favorite questlines in this expansion. The questline begins very early on in Zuldrak, so if you are leveling through the zone, make sure you go through it once you find one of those cursed necklaces that I mentioned near the beginning of the video. And all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this little adventure that we've gone on. But if you are up for another one, you should definitely check out the video on your screen right now, because in this one, we take a trip to Moonguard, US, where we're going to learn about the biggest World of Warcraft event that I guarantee you probably have never even heard of. One that, over its lifespan, has now raised over $40,000 for charity. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.